All right, let's dive into some marketing strategies. So Glenn Ledwell had his $1 scoop up. So here's how that works. When you run a campaign for an offer, say it's a $400, $500 course, when that campaign is over, you go back and now you offer the same thing for $1 trial. So you tell people, hey, look, like, I know that times are really tough right now. Maybe you can't afford to pay $400, $500, whatever it is. But I'm going to finance it for you. Look, I'm going to do this for you. Just try it for $1. And then when you're comfortable, like in 60 days, 90 days, or whenever, then you can pay the rest. So I'll give you a trial just for $1. I'll fund it for you. And a lot of people will take you up on that. And then you still have upsells on that. So the first upsell could be, hey, look, like if you're comfortable, but only if you're comfortable, I'll offer you this. You can pay for it now at a good discount, maybe like half price. So if you pay for it now, we're good. You pay half now, and then that's it. You don't have to pay the rest in the future, but only if you're cool, only if you're comfortable with that. If not, we can just totally hang on to this like $1 deal. After that, you can be like, hey, if you're comfortable, if you feel like you're not financially comfortable with it, here's 3 or 4 other things that could expedite your process, but only if you're good with it, if you're comfortable. So that was how he laid it out. And doing that, he said, basically doubled the results from his main launch. So you do your campaign, and then after you do this $1 thing to get all the rest of them, you do an upsell sequence and you end up capturing about as much as you did during the first launch. They called it Glenn's $1 scoop up. So that's a strategy that you can try. Storytelling. Telling stories is how we learn. It's how we pay attention. Actually, fun facts. So Dan Martell, he was getting everybody to be quiet and sit down. He's who can hear me clap once, and then everybody claps. And then he says, all right, let me tell you a story. And just that act of saying, let me tell you a story, when people are paying attention for a second, the room goes quiet. That's the power of story. Like, we love story. And so you telling stories in your marketing, that is what people pay attention to. What you need to do is you need to map out for what you're selling, for what your audience is and what you're selling. What are all of the beliefs that they need to have from beginning to end in order to buy from you and be perfectly, quote unquote, indoctrinated into your way of thinking that's going to ensure that they have success with what you're offering, right? We're all in the business of helping people get from A to Z, get from where they are to where they want to be. That's our job in this type of industry, like in any industry, really, right? Whether it's coffee or software or coaching or information, we want to get people from point A to point B or Z. And in order to have success with whatever we're doing, there are certain beliefs that they need to have. So you want to write those down. Like, for example, I need to believe that I can do it. I need to believe that this mechanism, this strategy, this vehicle that I'm offering is the best vehicle to get it done. I need to believe that my past failures are not because of me, but because I was using the wrong technique to get there. I need to believe that I can trust you. If there's something special about your vehicle, might need to believe that eating fruit and vegetable is healthy and that eating fats is bad, or that if you're selling a carnivore diet, I need to believe that eating only meat is fantastic and that vegetables are the devil or something. So you map out what those beliefs are that they need to have. And then for each belief, you come up with a story, right? You think of a story from your own life or from someone else's life. It can be a case study, it can be a famous person, whatever. But you come up with a story for each belief, where the new belief that you need people to have is the moral of that story. And then you write out all of those stories. And now what you do is you don't necessarily tell one story in one email or in one video or one thing. You want these stories to hit people from multiple modalities, whether that's on social media, on YouTube or whatever, or an email or whatever. So you want to hit them from multiple angles. And What you also want to do is you ideally want to open a loop and then close it later. So you start a story and then you say, hey, but we'll get back to that later. But let me tell you about this other thing. So like we open a loop and then here we open a new loop and then we close the first loop and then the next one. So you kind of, those stories interweave, because that's how the human brain works. Is like when you hear the beginning of a story, you need to hear the end. You need to hear what happens next. Right? That's what TV shows do so perfectly, right? They leave you hanging. Oh, the cliffhanger before the advertisement break, right? Before the commercials. Like we need to hear what happens next. And so if you constantly are opening loops and then closing them again, if you forget to close them, people are going to lose trust in you. So you have to remember to close them again and then open new ones and close, et cetera, so that you kind of string people along on this chain. And then they're going to end up with the beliefs that you need them to have to become good customers. If you do sales calls, which is one of the things that we talk about in Simplera Academy, then you want to make sure that they have those beliefs installed through these stories before you get on the sales call, so that it's a much easier lift for you to actually close them on the call. And so the way that Lanny does this is he actually has a spreadsheet with, where he keeps track of all the loops that he opens and closes of story 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, et cetera, et cetera. Another marketing strategy. So Roland Frazier, who's founder of Founders Board Mastermind and digital marketer, he was talking about how it works better to do a free challenge. So they do a 7-day challenge for their Epic Accelerator program, which is all about acquiring customers. And so they'll drive paid traffic through YouTube and Facebook and all of the places into a free challenge, which runs for 7 days. And then they're going to make an offer at the end of that. So the challenge helps people get all the way up to the points. Like the challenge is about finding 5 companies or assets that you could acquire. And now, great, you found them. What next? I need to figure out how to actually do that, how to put together a deal with no money down so I can acquire these assets for my business. And so that's what the offer is about on the back end, is like giving you all of that support. And so they start announcing that like day 3 about what the offer is, but they don't announce the price. And so what they do is they get people on a phone call to talk about it with a sales rep. And the sales rep then offers the deluxe package first at $42,000. And then if that's out of the budget for this person, then they can drop it down to like 18, 12, 5, 10, I forget the exact numbers, but basically like a ladder down of different offers until you find something that's a match. And that's working extremely well for them. And part of it is with anything paid traffic, the more you can have a higher tier offer for the people who can afford it and who want that level of support, the more the numbers are going to work. So really think through for you, what would a 10-star experience look like if you had a rating on a scale from 1 to 5? What would 10 look like? Like over the top, maybe you get flown in private jet and there's an army of drones that does something, or you meet the president or whatever. What would that look like? And then let's scale it down to a 7-star experience, which is still 2 steps above our 5-star limit, and then offer that. This is such a powerful way to do it. We're definitely going to dive into more of that in Simplera Academy as well. But then if you have that 7-star experience that you can offer people, that will be really desirable to certain people. And then you can scale down from there, but now you have a price anchor at that higher price point. And so when you drop down from 42K to 18K, like all of a sudden it seems a lot more reasonable. I'll share one more kind of marketing tidbit or insight. So this is from a guy, Rohit. He was saying, because I was really excited about challenges, we've done challenges in the past several years back, and we haven't done them for many years. And I was like, we really should get back into the game of doing challenges again. And he said, no, I'm going to save you the trouble. I'm going to save you a bunch of time and a bunch of money. Don't do challenges. And here's why. What happens is that you pay to acquire each lead that enters your challenge, typically $10, $15 maybe per person in your challenge. And now what happens inside the challenge, say it's 7 days long, you're going to see drop off every single day, right? Fewer and fewer people. So you paid for all of these people to be in the challenge, but then they're dropping off. So you don't get any value from that. What you want to do instead is do at just a single day, live event, like a 4-hour live summit, micro summit or something, where you basically take people through same kind of thinking as in the challenge. Like, what is the ultimate desire of these people and how can we take them as close to that as we can without giving them everything? And then, okay, do you want to keep having this level of support? Do you want to keep, like, then you join my program. So he's like, do it as a 1-day micro summit instead, because then you don't have the problem with the drop off over those days. And so it's going to get you a much higher value. So always things that can be optimized in these funnels and campaigns and all of that stuff.